Good day. My name is Ifara Bambi. I'm a member of TX Concept, and I'll be your host on today's episode of Life Issues. Today, we'll be talking about financial health. A lot of us have this conception that we need to make six figures before we gain financial freedom. It's a childhood dream for many of us, and we'll do anything to achieve that goal. Some of us even go to the extent of working two, three jobs, just to achieve that childhood dream. Unfortunately, many of us have put in the cart before the horse. A bigger paycheck doesn't necessarily mean more money into your pocket. What we should be focusing on is not how much am I making, but how much am I expending. What we should be focusing on is how can I break out of poverty and set myself on a track of financial freedom. I'll start off with some statistics just to sort of give you a picture of how the poor and the wealthy are doing in our current world. According to globalissues.org, the poorest 40% of the world's population account for 5% of global income, and the richest 20% account for three quarters of world income. Again, the poorest 40% of the world's population account for just 5% of global income, and the richest 20% account for three quarters, which is 75% of the world income. This little statistics sort of give you a picture of how big the poor and the rich are. And to be honest, and this is unfortunate, this numbers would increase in the near future if the poor um, does not make any changes. And that's why in the beginning I said that a lot of us, and when I say a lot of us, talking about the poor as well, we think that we need to make this amount of money before we can, be able to gain financial freedom. But what we need to be doing is, regardless of how much we make, we need to have a good financial budget. We need to be able to budget our expenses, budget our finances. Budgeting simply means revenue minus expenses equals net income, or if you really can say financial health. I'm not gonna be focused on revenue. Revenue, it's what it is. It's whatever money that comes in, right? I'm gonna be focusing on the expenses today. My goal here in this episode is to sort of give you an overview of the expenses, and when you make comments, I'd like to know if you want me to zoom in on any type of expenses, or even if you want me to talk about revenues, I'll be glad to do that. But I'm only gonna be going through the different type of expenses, which I'll categorize into just two, um, namely fixed expense and discretionary expense. A fixed expense is any fixed amount that you spend on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, as the case may be. For instance, a rent is an example of a fixed expense. Loan, you have loans. You also have some utilities as well, are very good examples of fixed expense. Now, our discretionary expense, or the expense we spend on food, clothing, even our savings, that's an expense. It could also be emergency funds expense, credit card debt, and all the stuff. There are different type of expenses. I'm not trying to really talk about all the type of expenses, but just to sort of give you an overview. Now, I'm actually gonna focus on just maybe one or two type of expenses, just to sort of give you an understanding on how, even though they are called expenses, there are still ways that we can save, through those expenses. And when I mean save, I mean tax benefits. One of those expenses, the retirement savings. So we all know about 401k plan. It's a saving that employer offers employee for working there, and that's not the only type of retirement plan savings. There are also some banks also offer retirement plan savings. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is 401k plans are actually tax deductible, when we file our tax returns. Also, charitable contribution, that's also tax deductible. On our first series of life issues, we talked about hunger, and of course, a very good way of supporting, the needy, the hungry, is to donate, money. It's a very good cause to donate for. But the good news is, that money that we're donating can actually benefit us at the end of the year or whenever we decide to file, our tax returns. That's one part of charitable contribution. Another one is donating for non-for-profit organizations like churches. So your tithes, offerings, those definitely you can include that as a charitable contribution, and of course it's tax deductible. But you need to make sure you have supporting documents for whatever you're trying to claim. Now, another big expense that a lot of us do spend money on, but we don't realize that some of this, a part of this expenses could be tax deductible, is medical expense. So we spend a lot of money on medical expense, but we don't know that we can actually get some tax benefits from it. For more information on that, on medical expense and the type of expenses that qualify for tax deduction, I'll encourage you to go to irs.gov to get a list of qualified deductible tax expenses. Now, having said all that, I did a lot of research, and I want to try to make this easy for us. Talking about budgeting, and I try to find a useful tool that will help us to budget our finances better. And the useful tool is just one simple website, www.mint.com. This is a website that pretty much gathers all your finances, all your revenue, expenses, and pretty much puts everything into one pool. And it gives you a clear picture in form of graphs or charts, whichever way you want it. It gives you a clear picture of what you're spending on, and even gives you advice. It gives you advice on what you really should be spending on or what you're spending too much on. Three good things that I like about it. It has one function where you can set a goal for yourself. That's one thing. And another thing is, it also gives you a free credit report, so you can always manage your credit score on a daily basis. Also, one last thing is that it syncs all your bank accounts and all this whatever you may have, say loans and mortgages, cars and stuff. It syncs all this stuff into one pool, and sets reminders you may forget to pay your bills and do all that stuff. This website definitely guides you through having a financial health, and it helps you to better manage your finances. So I haven't said that. I hope that this message has really blessed you and encouraged you to be financially free. And I hope that after the end of this, after the end of your financial budget, and you can be able to sleep well at night. Thanks. God bless.